Dominic, I'm really, really looking forward to this match. Thankfully, the back issues seem to have been overcome for Barry Hawkins. I think this has got the makings of an absolute belter, this match.
Yes, good afternoon, Rob. A very good afternoon, everybody. I am looking forward to this. It does surprise me that Barry Hawkins' head-to-head record with Neil Robertson is less than good, because he certainly has the tools in the box to actually cause Neil Robertson a lot of problems. But of course, Neil, when he's on form, his potting and break building is as good, if not better, than everybody. What a match he had yesterday in overcoming Welshman Jack Jones. That was a wonderful match to be commentating on. Barry Hawkins first in though here. That's a superb long rod from him. Confidently struck nicely on the blue.
Six.
Nice comments from Neil Robertson about Barry in the pre-match interview. No weak areas of his game. And he is so classy to watch. Sometimes think he's better than he thinks he is.
Yes, I'd agree with that. Just a word on Barry's back problems. Come the afternoon, he's fine, but when he wakes up in the morning, he's as stiff as a varnished eel. But through the course of the day, his back improves, and by the time he plays a match past midday, he's absolutely fine, he says.
7.
And I think that's been borne out by his form the last few days and the way he's played.
And I wonder, Dominic, in a funny kind of way, the fact that he was
Well,
genuinely so close to considering pulling out, it almost means that he's playing with no pressure, because anything's a bonus. And when these guys are relaxed, they tend to produce their best snooker.
Yes,
13.
players are always trying to convince themselves of these things. But believe me, when you get to the quarterfinals of a major event and you're playing well, all the pressures are there subconsciously. You know, you want to win, get to the semi-finals. And he was convinced by friends to play in the event. He did consider pulling out, but of course that has proved to be a very good decision of Barry's. It's a good decision to go into those reds there from the pink
19.
as well, but I think he's come up rather awkwardly here. He may have a red to the left centre. It's very tight, but even if it is on, it's a very tough pot and risky.
Barry Hawkins, 19.
They're not particularly well placed, these reds. There are two obviously possible reds, left and right of the pink there, but those three next to the black and the 5 that are placed below the pink, they're all blocking one another. There's a bit of an awkward beginning to this frame, but that was a good safety from Barry. Neil doesn't have an easy path back to bulk here with those two reds on the right-hand side cushion. Be easy to play the safety shot too thickly and cannon one of those two reds.
These two haven't played since 2024. From that year, they're 2 apiece. So although Robertson has a healthy lead in their head-to-heads, I think this feels like it could be a close one.
Robertson here is the player of the season, really. He's currently world ranked number 3, but he is world number 1 on the 1-year points. Barry Hawkins, world ranked 14, and he's 13th on the 1-year, beg your pardon, 15th on the 1-year points, which in itself is still very, very good.
And just mentioning about the 1-year list, there's a little subplot going on here because the top 12 players on the 1-year list will be invited for the Tour Champs, the last big event, before we all head to Sheffield for a month. Barry, Zhou Yulong and Jack Lazowski, all still going well in this, all still in the World Open. 14th, 15th and 16th on the 1-year list, so there is a chance that a big run here could put Barry in pole position for a place in the Tour Champs. Great way to finish their preparation ahead of the Worlds. We won't be thinking about points and the Tour Champs just yet. Massive opponent, massive match. Cagey start to this opening frame.
Yes, there is a possible red to the left corner, but Barry can only play it with topspin. And he wouldn't be able to take the cue ball around the back of the black spot and away back to bulk as he's done here, so had to turn the pot down, but he's played a superb safety here. Can't beat it.
Fantastic crowds all week. They were queuing up to get in from 10:30, including Adam, a local. Spent 10 minutes with Adam before we came on air. Cracking guy. Loves his snooker. We gave him a little backstage tour. He was telling me that he was diagnosed with a brain tumour back in 2019. He was told he didn't have very much time left. And he said, I'm still here, I'm still battling, still surviving, and still enjoying my snooker. And we're enjoying your company, Adam. Have a great afternoon at Venue Cymru. I know. Now, the interesting thing about the pace of this opening frame, this is not the kind of tempo that suits Neil Robertson. He likes these matches to start with a bang. Barry will be more comfortable at the moment than Neil will be. He's absolutely itching to get going. He's such a naturally aggressive player. It could knock him off kilter early on.
Well, that's an interesting point, Rob. I thought that yesterday, but when he played Jack Jones, it had that marathon 4th frame, I think it was, where Neil gave away 59 points in fouls. It may have been more because I wasn't entirely convinced that he didn't hit the black and not the red when it was deemed a fair shot. But anyway, he did end up losing that frame, although he nearly won it. But the next frame he potted a magnificent long red and then made a break of 73, and that really did impress me with Neil because, oh, he's caught the cushion there before the red. That was unintentional. But he's been extremely fortunate that those two reds to the left of the pink there have covered one another. And Barry again having to play a safety shot. It could have been easily right in there. But yeah, I was very impressed with Neil yesterday, because I've always thought with Neil, if you can get him thinking, you can cause him problems, and sometimes he's his own worst enemy. Sometimes Neil, who's playing well, averages 21, 22 seconds per shot, can average 30, 31 seconds a shot when he's struggling, and you get him thinking.
Barry Hawkins is certainly giving him a fair bit to think about in these early exchanges.
Barry's just had a look there to see if there's a chance of a 3-ball plant into the left corner. There's a line of 3 reds just below the pink. He's going to play a safety off them anyway, it would appear. Well, that has changed the complexion of this frame rather a lot now, because he's brought so many more reds into play there. So now there is a lot of pressure on both these players' safety exchanges, because one mistake could now be very costly. There's no gap through, as you can see, to the red nearest the left corner there, but Barry was considering a possible red that's just above the 2 reds and the black, but it wouldn't be without risk, and he doesn't fancy it, and I don't blame him. There's a chance, though, he could fluke a red here, considering the ball that he's deciding to play off. Not quite. Now, as we have a look at this safety shot from Barry, there's an interesting shot here that could await Neil Robertson. The 2 reds together behind the black spot. Now, if he were to play thin off the right-hand red of those 2 below the black spot, he could contrive to pot a ball into the corner pocket by way of a 5-ball plant.
Real care needed with the table set as it is.
See now, Barry's looking at those 2 reds to the left of the cue ball to try and plant them on the black, and the 2 reds next to it to try and pot a red into the left corner. It's asking a lot, isn't it? It's more of a trick shot than a shot you play in a snooker match, isn't it?
The late great JV could have set that one up at one of his fabulous exhibitions. So strange being at the event without him, isn't it? So strange.
Yes, it really is. It's that shot we're referring to is like one of the ones he would have set up on that quiz show Big Break back in the day. Oh, now Neil thought he could pot that red off the one that was closest to the corner pocket. It was a valiant effort. But it hasn't worked out, because one of the reds has come up past the blue and is cuttable to the right centre now. So this brief impasse may be at an end. Barry has an opportunity here.
First pot for 11.5 minutes. Stalemate broken. opportunity to
3.
keep Neil Robertson in his chair with an average shot time of 42 seconds. Get his hand on the table here and settle into the match before his long potting opponent.
4.
Yes, I think Barry would be disappointed if he couldn't score enough here to win this opening frame. With the opportunity that he has and the fact that he's already 30 points to the good, he's in great position here. There are many, many loose reds that he can play for.
11. 12.
He's absolutely loving his week in London, no, not just because his back has loosened up, just enjoys being here. All of us do. One of our best events on the whole calendar, this one, isn't it?
It is. It's just a shame we always come here in the dead of winter.
19.
Not the sort of spring or summer months, I suppose. But it's very well attended, as you can see there. Perspective view of the capacity audience in attendance here.
20.
I don't know, I quite like coming here in the winter. The roaring fires, nice walk along the front, the breeze blowing, fantastic.
Say up there.
27. Yeah, sure.
This is all good for Barry. It was a thin cut and he was stretching and he's missed it. That could be
Thank you.
rather costly. There are still
Oh,
quite a few loose
27.
reds that Neil can pot here to get right back into this frame.
That shot was harder than it needed to be, and he's gifted Neil Robertson a chance to get his hand on the table here, having not potted a ball in the first 18 minutes. He'll be up and running.
Thank you. 1.
Well, Barry can only sit and hope now that Neil makes a mistake early on, and he's not ideally on the black. He is from a point of view of cannoning into the two reds below it to bring them into play, but that might not work out.
Seven. 8.
That was such a good chance for Barry to nail that first frame without letting his opponent pot a single ball. Anyway, ancient history now. Reset and go again if he gets back to the table.
Oh, he's played that
14.
beautifully, perfectly on either of these two reds below the cue ball. And being left-handed, of course, the four reds on this left-hand side of the table
15.
aren't particularly badly placed for Neil. Of course, Barry Hawkins is left-handed as well, I should mention.
That looks so
22.
easy.
Yeah, when you play a cannon at that pace, you never quite know where the balls will finish, but as to be said, Neil could have scarcely
24.
play some better with his hand. He's brought them both into play and they're both easily potable, and all of a sudden, I think we have a new favourite for this opening frame now.
$30. $31. $38. $39.
He's taking these well.
Yeah, very well indeed, and points are now level, but Neil is
46.
still in perfect position here. There's a choice of either of the two reds that remain, one to the right corner, one to the right centre. But once he pots the first one of these two reds, he'll need a good angle on a colour to get on the remaining red, and that won't be straightforward. You'd love to be a little straighter on this red to play nicely for the pink. Oh, is this high? Oh, it's just wobbled in.
47.
Do you know sometimes they can pull up a fraction when you actually striking the ball at that angle? He's struck the red across the face of it, and sometimes they can pull up a touch, and I think Neil's concerned it would. But just about wriggled in. Played another great positional shot. Now have a look at this. He's striking across the red, and sometimes as a player you'll see the ball,
53.
the object ball, just turn upwards. In fact, I think it did just a fraction, but that's normal. But it still went in, and he's still in good position.
Neil Robertson, 53.
It was harder than it looked, that shot. So the intrigue continues in this opening frame. You can tell the crowd are enjoying it. You can hear an absolute pin drop here.
Yes, he really can. Digging down into the cue ball as Neil was there, there's always a risk you can undercut the pot. If he'd have played it plain ball, I don't think he'd have missed it.
Oh, how good was that? How good was that?
Rebound quickly off that top cushion. And he's very unlucky.
8.
See, I don't know if he'll stay with this long enough, but have a look at the speed of the bounce off this top cushion. Boing! And he's above the black, and he thought he'd be level with it.
And that was nicely done as well. Good signs for the contest to come here. Took a little while to unstitch the puzzle at the beginning of the frame, but we've seen decent visits from both.
13.
They're in fine fettle.
$17.
So should make sure of this frame. Yeah, good stuff from Barry Hawkins. Really good stuff. He trails Neil in the head-to-heads, but he's made the perfect start here. Thought that miss with the rest would have cost him. Not the case.
Barry Hawkins.
Barry adored. Installment of drama part 2. That's not too shabby from Neil Robertson. Fantastic turnout. Quarter-final Friday. Robertson bidding, just to give you some numbers, Robertson bidding for a 57th ranking event semi-final. Barry bidding for his 35th. Great matches to come. The ball run against the jackpot. John Higgins and Zhou Yulong. Wu Yize and Zhang Jun. Wu Yize played snooker from the gods yesterday. Poor old David Grace didn't stand a chance. So watch out for the all-Chinese clash tonight. And that was nicely figured out by Barry Hawkins.
One.
So good. He's brought his long game to this match this afternoon, that's for sure.
That was a wonderful pot from Barry, but Neil's safety shot left a little bit to be desired. But he's missed the black. I'm hardly surprised because when Barry took the long red on, he was expecting to hold the cue ball almost dead. But it just drifted across to the side cushion as you saw there, and it made that black very missable. That was equally as difficult as the long red before it.
One. Eight. Nine. Sixteen. $17.
Wow, that's a big mistake from Neil Robertson. Initially, I thought he was trying to cannon the red to hold for the black, but it appears he was trying to hold the cue ball short of it, and when he's got the cover and he's wasting no time in going down for the blue. Oh, dear me. Oh, what a wonderful pot that was. But born out of frustration, I didn't expect him to knock it in, but he still has a tough red to continue with.
22.
It wasn't just the accuracy of the blue, it was the speed with which he made the decision to get down on it. Some magnificent long pots in this match so far, and we're only half an hour in. This could be a real treat, this match.
Yeah, it really could be. They could really bring the best out of each other. Of course, this match is over the best of 9 frames. There'll be an interval after the 4th frame. He's done remarkably well, Neil Robertson, to keep this break going, having lost position a few shots ago on the black, back in A1 position. Early days, at least Barry Hawkins won the first frame. He's not as under pressure to win the second frame as Neil Robertson is, perhaps. Problem is for Neil here, if he were to pot the pink, where would it re-spot? Because I think its own spot is occupied, so it may be tied up.
Just give me a second, Neil.
Yeah, Ben Williams has just said to Neil, I need a minute or two on this. Ben Williams is just doing his best here. He's doing his job, but it's been an interruption to the Robertson rhythm.
29. $30. $37. $38.
Amazing start to the season with that incredible 10-9 win for Neil Robertson
45.
against Ronnie O'Sullivan. 7-2 up, 9-8 down, and won the last 2 for $500,000.
46.
Understandably went off the boil a little bit after that with a few early exits. It looks like he's rounding into form at the right time again for the Worlds and for the Welsh.
Well, that's a good point you make, Robert. This is the time of the
53.
season now where everybody's trying to find their A game and just experiment a little, perhaps ahead of the World Championships. It's a completely
54.
different thing, isn't it? World Championships, 17 days, every match over at least the best of 19. And that's probably why such great players of today, people like Judd Trump and Neil Robertson, incredibly, have only won the World Championships once.
59.
Seems that you need a different style of play to win it multiple times.
60.
You know what Steve Davis says? He says with the Crucible, it's not a stamina test, it's a state of mind. $65. $66. This has been the Perfect response from Neil Robertson. Barry will be kicking himself. Missed that black after a brilliant long red to get in at the start of the
73.
frame.
74.
But Robertson has taken these really, really well.
Well, we're going to have a look at the black. This is it. And it's so
80.
difficult having to play a shot like that. Barry, I wasn't sure he'd missed it, really.
81.
But you can only see the top of the ball when it's against a cushion rail, and you've got to strike and nip down into the cue ball. If you play a normal stroke, you'd miss cue. So it's never easy when the cue ball's on a cushion. Very understandable that he missed it.
88. 89.
All of a sudden, that average shot time at one point was up at 47 seconds in the first. Now down to 24. He's flying round the table. And he looks like he's
94.
enjoying it. He's in the groove and in the mood.
Thank you. 95.
Right, come on, Robbo. Let's have the century and a nice round of applause from the Venue Cymru crowd. Too good. A master at work here. A joy for the crowd.
102.
Oh, well, didn't need the yellow, he'd already got the
Robertson,
ton.
102.
Neil Robertson levels things up here, he's just making sure. Don't believe a word of that chat about the blue. Mark Williams would have had a great go at nailing that up into the yellow pocket. And speaking of blue, whatever you do, don't hit the blue. Uncharacteristic error on the break-off from Barry Hawkins. Oh, he's making these long pots look easy.
Yeah, that was a really good one from Neil because the black wasn't available into the opposite corner, so he had to screw the cue ball back for a choice of the bulk colours. So Neil, being the great break builder that he is, will be looking to free up that black spot area by playing on the two reds that are just below the black.
Four. Neil Robertson, 4.
Well, he'll be disappointed to have missed that, Neil. But he had to do a lot of work again with the cue ball there. That was well played by Neil Robertson. He had to play that with a lot of check side on the keyboard to alter its natural angle from the cushion rails and judged it wonderfully. Definite chance of a long straight red here for Barry Hawkins. He's potted a couple of good long ones already, but again, this is a very risky shot to take on if you were to hole for the black. I don't know how many after 10 you would get of these, in all honesty. If you're playing very well, possibly half of them.
And he knows how well his opponent is playing as well. Ready to capitalise. If he leaves him a loose one, there's pressure on this. Oh, that is superb. Absolutely drilled it into the heart of the pocket. And he'd been frozen out for 15 minutes.
Played it in such a way, though, that he took a lot of pressure off himself by not holding for the black. So he may just bring the blue into play here. And play a safety shot.
Hawkins, 1.
Hidden the left-hand side of the table, using the brown. So no easy return to bulk here now for Neil.
It also sends Neil Robertson a little message that with Barry's long game in such good order, any half chance he's left from range is a potential danger point. We're seeing great snooker from both these players. So far, this is a treat.
Exactly right.
Good safety there from Neil. Barry could play off either side of the pack of reds. I think there is room to play past the pink to clip off the right-hand side of the pack here. Just a little thick. And if the cue ball cannons are yellow, and it has just, Neil may be tempted by a long red, but in all honesty, the angles are not good for Neil. He may well play a safety here, but he'll have to be careful not to leave a red near a corner pocket somewhere.
What a career it's been for Neil Robertson since he won his second ranking title. His first Welsh crown, cracking final against Andrew Higginson. He was 5-1 up and cruising and found himself 8-6 down and won it in a decider. The second of 26 ranking titles in his collection. And the Welsh played a key part in the early stages of his development. We were saying over breakfast the other day, Dominic, this event just has a habit of producing great stories. Jordan Brown behind closed doors against Ronnie, Milkins winning the bonus against Sean Murphy, Joe Perry winning his first ranking title on British soil, beating Judd in 22. We've had some great stories from the Welsh Open. A look of frustration there from Neil Robertson.
Yeah, we have had a few unusual winners of the Welsh, I suppose, but I think when Rob won it a few years ago and claimed the Bet Victor bonus, I think that was an incredible thing for Rob and the game of snooker as well. He's such a popular player. Style of play as well, very watchable. That's a good safety from Barry, not quite behind the blue, but the green is covering the right-hand side of the table. But Neil can leave the cue ball here on the top cushion, probably a little to the left of the black spot, and it should be safe, or safe enough anyway.
Neil Robertson was already saying great shot as he came to the table. Fantastic all-round game. And this will take a little bit of figuring out.
It really will, and Neil's concern here will be the fact that the black and pink are available, so a mistake could be costly. Trying to rest upon those reds around the black spot. He's got the angle wrong here.
Foul and a miss.
But although he's left a red on for Barry, has he knocked the black too far up towards the reds? I don't think he has. Barry can look at the black here as a potential colour after this red to the left corner. But he'll probably be keen to leave an angle on the black to screw into those reds and just free up the black spot if possible.
One.
Didn't like it in the end. Probably felt screwing into the reds from the black could cost him position, so he's played for the pink.
Seven.
Took the first frame with a 19 and a 27. His opponents had a half century and a century.
8.
And this is a good chance now for Barry Hawkins to get his scoring boots on. Well, it's been a solid rather than a spectacular season so far for Barry. This is his 4th quarter-final. Quarters in Saudi, the International Championship, and the UK Championship.
14.
battling for top 12 on the one-year list for a place in the torch. So even that wouldn't guarantee him. I think he'd have to win the Welsh to be certain of that rise up into the top 12.
I'm
going to mention something here. The cushion rails are playing very, very quickly, but this will be the last day's play upon these tables before the re-rigging overnight. For the semi-finals, there'll be just one table centre stage. Obviously then it'll be reclothed and that will benefit the players. I don't think Barry's on anything here. He was playing for the red just closest to the black, near the black spot. Get hold of the cue ball
Barry
there. He didn't
Hawkins,
want the cue ball to cannon into the pink, so just went wrong very quickly there for Barry.
It's a roll under, didn't it?
One way to get the chalk back out from under the table.
Well, he didn't. He knocked it further behind it. That was a clever shot from Neil, actually. He tried to pot that red, you know, off one of the others near the black spot. But fortunately, and I'm going to say fortunately, he's got the cover behind the yellow. It wasn't intended.
This frame beginning to feel like the first. Nearly 16 minutes played, 10 reds still on the table. Still no break over 30 from Barry Hawkins. I'd be disappointed he ran out of position a couple of minutes ago. Pace drops again, but the intrigue grows.
Long way out with that attempted long red, but his primary focus there was on the cue ball, and he's played that part of the shot perfectly. And the green is hiding the red near the right centre, so Barry's in a bit of trouble here.
Well, the way he was cueing in the second frame, you fancy him for this.
One.
Pinpoint accuracy there from Neil Robertson. He's making these pots look absurdly easy.
And Robbie played it like he knew he was going to pot it, because look where he's left the cue ball there. He's 26 points behind. Or 20, I beg your pardon, 20 3 points behind Neil Robertson at the time he took the red on. He must have thought missing it would cost him the frame.
7. Eight.
So straight on that red, he had to leave the pink from a little further away than he would have liked to have done, but can't really expect Neil to miss this. No problem at all. The black is clearly available into the right corner, but those 4 reds above it are in a line, and
14.
to get onto those reds, you'll have to be fairly precise positionally.
15.
He lost his trademark confidence, didn't he, for a couple of years when he stopped producing his best. I think that win in the English Open in the autumn of 24 was very, very significant for Neil, because he's got that winner's mentality.
21.
And he's absolutely back in the groove. Otherwise, he wouldn't be back
22.
up to world number 3. But he did wobble. He did wobble for a little bit.
I remember playing him a couple of years ago at the Welsh, and after the match I had a chat with him and just told him not to forget what an incredibly good player that you are, because sometimes you can be in the doldrums and you can be struggling with your confidence, but one thing never changes, the ability that a player has. Confidence does come and go.
30.
It's always dependent upon results, and he has turned things around, and he certainly does look now the player of old.
I think Joe Perry's got to take some of the credit for that.
37.
Just the quiet ear, the
38.
calming presence in the corner. Can't pot the balls for him, but he's been there and done it at the highest level. And Neil knows that.
Just working out the scores here. He's 15 points ahead, 22 with the black. Just trying to work out how many of these awkward reds he needs. Oh, wow. I can't believe he played the double cushion to that red. Hard to tell, but all I can say is it's worked out wonderfully.
.46.
So Neil will have worked out that if he pots the black, followed by a red and a black, he can just trundle that red along the top cushion. He won't need a colour afterwards to make the frame safe.
.53. .54.
Barry took that first frame, but as far as the scoring is concerned and the break building, it's all been one-way traffic in this match.
Got to say, Rob, he hasn't played a good positional shot there at all. He's parallel to the pink, that's no good. Black's too thin now. I mean, at best he could drop the black in and leave a double on the red. He's looking to see if he can cut the pink in and cannon the red, but he won't have any idea where the cue ball and the red will go. He'll be cannoning the red with too much pace, ideally, so...
Green ball.
Now looking at the green to put it safe, perhaps. And just play a safety, so unexpectedly the break comes to an end.
54.
But he's 31 ahead with 43 remaining. kiss. Ricochet safety. Hasn't been played that well by Barry. Didn't catch the red full ball, so Neil will take this red on. Just needs the black afterwards to make the frame safe. It's close, but not close enough. But it looks as though the black is blocking the red, so it's finished okay for Neil.
Nice idea. He's aware he's got to do something to stop the Robertson momentum, because the match is being played at his opponent's rhythm at the moment for Barry Hawkins.
He's made a hash of that one, Neil. He's played it with a lot of check side, but the cue ball swerved into the red and he caught it far too fully. And this is a good chance for Barry. I know the green and the brown are safe, but he could get at least 18 points here, or 16 if he takes the blue after the red if he pots it. That would get him back in the frame as he potted the red. It looks good. It's in. Decided to play for the yellow. He can get back in the frame, but it's a big ask to try and win it from here with green and brown safe. So what Barry can do here, he can play for the black into the right corner in such a way as to be able to pot the black and cannon the green away from the cushion. And if he can cannon it fully enough, he'll be on the yellow, and he could knock the green towards its own pocket.
4.
So the ideal way to cannon this green would be to just catch the side cushion before the green. But is he playing the cannon? I am surprised. Maybe he's decided to screw back from the yellow and double the green.
11.
That would be another option. He really has put himself in trouble by fluking that green.
He sure does. Nice tight break from Neil Robertson. Last one before the mid-sesh.
Could you please make sure your phones are on silent, please?
Somebody listening to a message or a voice note or something. This drama's too good. Don't need phones interrupting it.
Sorry, I missed it.
Oh, was that a foul?
Can we have a check of that?
We can have another look at this.
No.
Let's have a look at this, see if Neil contacted a red or not. The cue ball moved about 3 millimetres. But did it strike a red? Let's have a look. What can we see? Don't know.
No. Foul.
It's been deemed a foul.
And a
I
miss.
think that's right. You couldn't see a red
Barry
move,
Hawkins,
could you?
4.
Well, Barry could have this replaced, you know. I know it's only a couple of millimetres, but then if
From
Neil were
there.
to do the same thing again, he'd be warned that he could lose the frame if he were to make the same mistake a third time. Not that that's ever going to happen.
One of the things I love about snooker, and it's funny, we take it for granted because we're surrounded by exemplary sportsmanship all the time. But he was straight up off that and said to Ben
Yeah,
Williams,
relook,
"Look,
Barry.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I need you to
Relook,
look
John,
at that."
please.
Yes. Let's go again, Ben Williams. That one was just for fun. Don't you agree, Dominic? I just think the sportsmanship of these guys is exemplary. We should be proud of being associated with a sport where people own up so quickly.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there are the odd exceptions, of course, there will be in any sport, but I mean, as you say, massively in favour of good sportsmanship between the players, great camaraderie as well. I'm just going to mention something here, really, that Barry is 2-1 up. And his highest break, is 28. He hasn't made a 30 break yet. Neil Robertson's made breaks of 53, 54 and 102. But he's 2-1 behind.
Yeah, it's like Rianne was saying in the studio. Robertson's made all the running, but Hawkins is the one who's up.
There you see it. Highest break, 28. He's 2-1 ahead. Must be doing something right. Well, there is a straight red on to the left corner. Barry being 2-1 ahead might decide to go for this. Very tricky cueing though from near the cushion, and it just caused Barry to strike it off course. And that could be a big mistake. Nothing straightforward here for Neil, but he does have a couple of potable options.
He's been pretty good with the long pots so far this afternoon. Fancied him to get that.
The easiest pot is probably the red to the right of the cue ball into the centre pocket. But the pink wouldn't be on into the centre pocket. Now, could Neil screw off the pack of reds to be on the black to the right corner? He just had a look to see if there's a chance that could happen. Problem is, he could easily knock a red towards the corner pocket and block the path for the black. But sometimes you have to take those risks, I suppose, because there aren't any other easy pots to take on. He still prefers this one into the yellow pocket. Position from it is guaranteed. Oh, that was so close. Has he fluked it? He has. Oh, what a time for a fluke. What a time for a fluke, because Neil could score heavily from that. And had that red stayed over the pocket jaws, it could have been Barry Hawkins in.
Well, it was coming right towards Barry Hawkins, who didn't move a muscle.
Seven.
Now, can he capitalise on it? Give himself a decent chance of going in all square.
8.
In a session, he is absolutely dominated in terms of balls potted and high breaks, but currently trails. This is quite a big visit for Neil Robertson.
13.
He's just going to have to dig down into the cue ball a touch here to play for the black into the same pocket. He's looking at the red below the main bunch, but no guarantee he'd finish on the black playing that one. So just digging down to hold the cue ball. And he's missed it, you see. Just elevating the cue butt in the air made it
Robertson,
awkward, but he
13.
didn't strike it well. There was tension in that ball strike. And you can tell that because, in all honesty, he played it with far too much pace.
So 2 reds he's missed so far in the 4th. The first he managed to fluke, and not the second.
This red's cut a ball, but where does a cue ball go? It may cannon the red, just above the pink spot. Missed the cannon on that, and cannon the blue.
1.
And that could have been worse. He's on the green, but in all honesty, he's very straight on it. It's the only potable colour, really. But he has a lot of ability, Neil, to manoeuvre the cue ball around the angles. Can he do so here?
Four.
And the blue off the spot, so he doesn't have the usual obvious option of getting into the pack. So this mid-range. He's just starting to feel a little bit of tension out there, isn't he?
That's
Yeah,
exactly
Robertson,
what it is, Rob. Yeah, you can always tell when a player's under pressure. They tend to miss the balls that mean something. Neil knew if he knocked that one in, he'd be on the black and he'd have a chance to score heavily. But he just needed that one good pot, and it's gone wrong.
And a good long look at that potential plant. He's just under a little bit of pressure here in this 4th frame. Would have expected that cue ball to be travelling back towards the cushion. Pink full in the face. Another look at that plant. It wasn't quite set, was it? That's why he came back to look at it 2 or 3 times, maybe convincing himself it was on when it wasn't quite. A little bit of distance between the first and the second red. Quality of potting in this match so far has been very high. Just 1 or 2 wobbles as the tension begins to wind up a fraction. Both these players bidding for a 5th Welsh Open semi-final. It's a good target. Yellow and blue. Oh, he's fully focused. He's lining up. Oh, well done, Neil Robertson. Well done. Dead centre, heart of the pocket. A little bit of pressure growing on him towards the halfway stage of this match. That was excellently taken.
Eight.
Well,
9.
if Neil can get out of this session at 2-all at the mid-session interval, obviously be delighted, but you may reflect on the fact that he's made all the breaks in this match, and he hasn't got that much to show for it, really. Barry's just stolen a couple at the death.
$16. $17.
Needs his cue ball to slow down. Now, how hampered is he by the yellow in attempting the brown? And did he need to trust to luck quite so much for position there? Well, the brown is very straight. This could be awkward. Very awkward indeed. I don't even think it's worth taking the brown on. Oh, I can see a camera angle here. He's got a tiny bit of an angle to work with. And he'll have to play it with a lot of backspin and probably a lot of left-hand side to try to get down the table. As long as he can avoid the cannon on the blue with the cue ball, he may be able to get out of this predicament.
Foul. Neil Robertson, 17.
Oh, he's absolutely
4.
furious with
Barry
himself
Hawkins.
there. He was so busy concentrating on getting back down the table for the reds off the brown. He hit the yellow with the top of the cue.
Oh, I hope he hasn't put a dent in his cue, because if he has, that'll be right on the underside of the cue, under his bridge hand. So if there is a dent there, he's going to feel that with every shot that he plays.
He was absolutely incandescent. He's normally quite a mild-mannered guy. That was quite a big reaction. Look at this. He's won everything in the game, and yet it still means the world.
3.
Yeah, well, he's won this twice. But that explains some of the mistakes that we're seeing
4.
from Neil. He seemed desperate to win this match and advance to the semi-finals tomorrow. And the one-table setup. Now Barry can run through here into those 2 reds. He's avoided them. Did the right thing, really. If you cannon into any ball, you never know where they're going to finish.
11.
But there are 4 loose reds here in the middle of the table and 1 near the left centre. They're all potable.
12.
Well, an indication as to what an unusual 4 frames this could have turned out to be. Even if Barry clears the entire table here, he will not have the same number of total points as Neil Robertson, and yet he'd lead the match 3-1.
19.
I wonder if it's worth playing for the blue here to get that back on its spot. Could be handy.
20.
Barry, though, being left-handed, this might be a little bit of a stretch. He's certainly not particularly well placed on yellow or green, so blue is the better ball to play here without any doubt. I'm sure he can reach it.
Well, we've mentioned Joe Perry already in the Neil Robertson camp. I think he was there with him in
25.
Saudi when he withstood the Ronnie O'Sullivan comeback, 5-1 up. Sorry, 7-2 up, and then 9-8 down. And he's going to need the calming influence of Joe Perry if Barry Hawkins takes this frame. Joe needs to find a way of releasing the Robertson pressure valve if he goes 3-1 down.
26.
And Hawkins is looking good here.
Yeah, Neil just seems to be a little overwrought, doesn't he? He doesn't seem to be quite as calm as he needs to be within himself. If Barry were to knock this blue in, as he should do, of course, it'll be the highest break that he's made in the match, incredibly. Where's this cue ball going? Is he destined not to make a 30 break before the mid-session interval? It seems that way, and Barry looks incredulous. How on earth has that cue ball travelled that far, he's probably thinking, after cannoning into the pink? There will be tension on both of these players. This is a key frame. 2-all or 3-1 makes a big difference. Even though there's a little more wiggle room, as we're playing a best of 9 now, not a best of 7.
Well, second prize there. What a fascinating frame this is turning out to be. Robertson knows the significance of pinning Barry Hawkins back to 2 apiece.
Foul. And a miss.
Yeah.
Barry Hawkins, 6. Can you bring that off
This
for the
is
pink,
turning
please?
into a very frustrating frame at the moment for Robertson.
Yeah, and this is so similar to a snooker escape that he had to play against Jack Jones yesterday, in which he conceded 59 penalty points. And he missed it in a very similar vein to this, just by a fraction. And if this happens again to Neil, I'm sure he'll be at his wit's end.
Back to you, a fraction.
It's the voice of John Pellew in the marker's
more.
chair.
Pink's good. The white wants to move.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Back into you. Touch more. That's good.
No, that's not right.
Good teamwork there.
No, it's slightly over more. Just a bit more, couldn't you? Yeah, because I had it in line with that chair. That's it. Yeah. Bye-bye. Thanks, John.
All good. Attempt number 2.
Could hear Penn Williams saying there he'd already lined the cue ball up with the chair. It's amazing what referees use as reference points. It can be the writing along the side of the cushion rails. Anything just to help the referees replacing the balls when a miss is called.
Foul and a miss. Barry Hawkins, 4. Back.
The cue ball this time should be relatively straightforward.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you.
Third time lucky.
Well, he's hit the red, but he certainly hasn't got it safe. He'll be pinning his hopes now on Barry Hawkins not developing the 2 reds together near the black spot there. This is a thinnish cut and could be missed. No problem, no.
1.
As the angle on the black, I don't think he has much. He will have to play now for the red closest to that left centre to leave an angle on the blue to cannon into those 2 reds. Again, these cushions are very quick. That cue ball needs to slow down, and it's not really.
8.
He can still cut the red into the centre, but he can't easily play for the blue now from it. But the blue would be the ideal colour to play for. Can he stun across the face of the blue to play it into the same pocket? Just
9.
managed it, and that's fine. So he's looking now to play a very delicate cannon on the right-hand red of those 2 ideally, which will push the left one towards the pocket. Just too much pace, Rob.
14.
Very, very close to being the perfect shot there. I guess what we've seen in the last couple of minutes, he hasn't scored heavily, but most of what he's done has been very, very accurate.
Well, this red behind the black spot is cuttable. You can see enough of it, but He's far from ideally positioned on it. There's a lot of pressure on this, but if he can knock it in, it'll be a heavy favourite to take a 3-1 lead. And he has knocked it in.
15.
Well, this would really hurt Neil Robertson. Breaks of 53, 54 and 102. His opponent's best break is 28. And he could end up leading 3-1 at the mid-session interval. Still a bit to do.
Finally. Barry Hawkins looks like making a 30 break this side of the mid-session interval.
$21.
I've just spoken too soon. Actually, I need to make a personal point here that he's 22 ahead, he only needs the black. And because he's so straight on this, I don't think I'll be trying too hard for position on the yellow.
Oh my goodness me! How did he miss that?
Barry Hawkins, 21.
How did he miss that?
He tried to get onto the yellow. He's 22 ahead,
Sorry?
by my reckoning.
Yeah, we'll do.
Just need the black to be 29 ahead with 27 on. He tried to do too much backspin and right-hand side on the cue ball, and he just completely misstruck it. He snatched at it, didn't strike it smoothly, didn't strike it cleanly. And all I'll say here is if Barry Hawkins doesn't win this frame now, he'll have a lot to think about at that mid-session interval, that's for certain.
Well, a couple of minutes ago, the frustration was all Neil Robertson's. He can't believe that. What an important couple of minutes in the context of this match towards the end of the fourth.
Absolutely, Robin. Neil has every opportunity here to play a good safety shot, and certainly snooker Barry Hawkins. He'd be disappointed if he doesn't. Well, that is nothing short of a dreadful mistake. What a misjudgment there from Neil Robertson. He must be
Spider, yeah, sure.
bitterly disappointed. He must be simmering at the shot that he's just played.
Okay.
Well, they've both potted some amazing balls in this mini session. But they're both feeling it now.
Thank you.
It was a great target for Neil Robertson. He's doing his level best here to keep a lid on his frustrations. Still in the frame.
Foul and a miss.
Wow.
Barry Hawkins, 4. Back.
What is going on in this frame now? Incredible drama.
I've no idea what's going on. All I do know is if Neil Robertson doesn't hit the yellow this time, he'll need a snooker. And it's not easy because the cue ball's close to the baulk cushion. He can't really apply that much side spin to it.
Fraction that way.
Fraction that way.
Yeah. Fraction more. Back towards the cushion, a fraction. That's good.
Cheers, thanks, John. Okay with that?
John Pellew,
Barry?
one of the best voices in snooker.
Decent escape, but he's left this yellow on, and this is the type of pot that comes up a lot in practice sessions or friendly matches between the players. between tournaments to try and sharpen up their game. But there's pressure on this. This is the match situation, and this is for 3-1.
Two.
Great moment of composure there. One or two Hawkins fans giving it the fist pump celebration.
5.
Well, he must have thought when he butchered that black, he must have thought that Robertson was going to get back in and draw level at 2 apiece.
9.
Well, should be a Trivial Pursuit question. How could you score breaks of 53, 54 and 102
14.
with your opponent's biggest break of 28 and you lose the mini session 3-1? This sport is
20.
bonkers
And the
sometimes.
famous Barry Hawkins.
Absolutely bonkers. Say from a 5th Welsh Open semi-final. But there could be a long, long, long way to go in this match.
You see the respective highest break between the two players. That's the biggest disparity. That's the one that makes no sense at all, because Barry Hawkins has a 3-1 lead. Average break. Table time. Now that's also key as well. I mean, Barry's had less table time. He's just stolen a couple of frames, that's all. Neil's looked the better player, but it's not reflected in the scoreline. Well, that could be a telling safety, because the blue is blocking the left-hand side of the table, the right-hand side very congested. There is a possible red on for Barry. But can he find the gap for the cue ball here to return it towards bulk? Oh, he's good. And you know, winning that last frame before the interval and having that 2-frame cushion now could really relieve a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Barry Hawkins.
Barry Hawkins 1.
Barry would have liked to have blocked off the left-hand side cushion here to prohibit Robertson from playing into the left-hand side of the pack of reds, albeit the middle pocket could cause him a problem. You have to play perhaps above the middle pocket, but with a lot of left-hand side on the cue ball. There's the side spin reacting, speeding the cue ball up off the cushion, and he's played it nicely. But is it a touching ball? No. That's a good outcome for Neil.
Average frame time just over 25 minutes. Robertson's natural rhythm is much faster than that. But despite his high scoring, he's been unable to dictate the momentum of the match so far.
Both players will be trying to play safety shots along this right-hand side of the table to block off the left-hand side of the table. There are no other balls in the way there to block the path back towards the baulk cushion, but there may be a cuttable red on here for Barry into this right corner. As long as the cue ball doesn't cannon into the blue, it's worth taking on perhaps.
Fabulously done by Barry Hawkins. Had to put all his effort into that pot. Cue ball up over the green pocket. But that was pinpoint accuracy there.
Barry Hawkins 1.
Just shows the difference in psychology. Barry took the red on, and what a wonderful pot it was, but he was expecting the cue ball to return to the baulk area, so there was no risk involved. But Barry knew that if he missed that green, it could be very costly. And that extra pressure made the pot missable, and he missed it by a long way, and obviously it was a lot easier than the red that he knocked in just before it.
1.
Neil Robertson badly needs an opportunity to get his hand on the table and settle back into this match.
Six.
Fair bit of traffic around the black. Pink's available. But he's got his chance after Hawkins missed that green to middle left.
7.
Now this is a little awkward for a while for Neil. Players normally detest it when the baulk colours are down this end of the table amongst the other balls, and Neil would probably love to get that green back on its spot, but it's blocked, it won't pot. The reds around the pink are good, but the pink is off its spot, and if it were to be potted, if its spot's occupied, it would have to go on the black spot, and then that pink would be tied up as well as the black and the green, and all of a sudden it's not an easy break to make. It's got a lot of working out to do here.
Well,
the pink will go back on its spot. I'm pretty sure, looking at the position of the two reds, the pink spot must be available, but I'm not sure the pink, even though it will go back on its spot, will actually go anywhere.
You and I both have had the pleasure of working with Joe Perry, become friends with him over the years. What would his message have been to Neil Robertson in that mid-sesh? Would it have been taking his mind off the frustration, or would he have been tackling it and saying, "Listen, you're scoring heavily. You're absolutely still in the match. Let's crack on with the second half"?
Well, if I were in Neil's corner, I'd be just making it plainly clear that you've made the bigger breaks, 53, 54 and 102. Your opponent's highest break is 28. So you've got no reason to think that you can't still win this match. I think
26.
one thing I would highlight is that the fact that temperamentally Neil seems to be just showing a few more signs of frustration than Barry Hawkins does, or Barry Hawkins doesn't show signs of frustration, very, very rarely.
27.
But he's just got to do what he's been doing. He's playing well enough, he's scoring well enough. He hasn't had a great run of the ball, Neil. But there's plenty of time for things to turn around. But Neil, with what he's won in the game, he knows that. But we're going to have a look at a reaction here from Neil Robertson that tells you how much winning this match means to him. Swiping the cue in the air, frustrated,
34.
angry. But he's had time now to have a talk with Joe Perry and just simmer down a little bit. And he's in here. He's getting in most of the frames. He's just not killing them off.
This would be the perfect
40.
start to the second half of the match from Neil Robertson.
$41.
Again, he played that the right way to try and develop reds and screw off them for position on the pink. And he's on the pink, but he may well have to play now for the red in bulk because he doesn't have a good angle on the pink, but the pot is easy enough, or it should be.
$47. Thank you. 48.
You'll be delighted with that positional shot, Neil. That was not an easy one to execute. He's perfectly on the blue now to stun down for the red furthest right. And these are the positions that Neil normally wins frames from, but hasn't quite managed it today. He needs to now. Possibly short of pace. He'll be again screwing off a red here and hoping to be on the pink. But it wasn't guaranteed,
54.
but all in all, he'll be happy enough with that. The pink is missable, but it shouldn't be for him.
It's not been an easy table to navigate, but so far so good for the 2010 world champion. Getting over the line in this frame would certainly take the sting out of his frustrations from the first four.
$61.
Good stuff. There'll be a little nod of approval somewhere from Joe Perry.
Well, he's safe in the frame now. Barry needs 2 snookers. But I don't know whether Neil will try to continue the break or not, or whether he'll just put a colour safe here.
Yeah, Robertson, 61.
Yet another half century from Neil Robertson. So Barry Hawkins playing on. 2 4-pointers to tie. He was just watching carefully there to see whether he went in off and was ready to give the nod. Good display of character here in this frame from Neil Robertson.
One.
Crowd came to see a fantastic match, and that was an important frame for just re-establishing Neil Robertson in this encounter.
8.
I just got a funny feeling this is going to go all the way.
Thank you. 9.
Neil Robertson does lead the head-to-head by 14 matches to 6. It's every suggestion that it may go all the way. But this is a good positive start from Neil upon the resumption.
16.
Well, when you're a prolific scorer like Robbo, break of 61 doesn't look much on
70.
paper, but he worked hard for that. And it's allowed him to work off the frustration, especially of the 4th frame. I think that break came at a good time for Robertson. Chat with your good
20.
mate, cup of tea, quick snack, close the chapter, go again.
22. Neil Robertson 22 on the front.
Off. He's an absolute machine of a human being. Whether he's telling jokes, potting balls, or commentating. And very, very, very occasionally, having a cold one in front of a nice warm fire. Yeah, a little grimace from Barry as he went back to his chair there. That was a country mile away.
Enjoyed Barry's expression there. That's the
One.
type of miss that can really concern you, because I can promise you the next time Barry takes on a difficult long ball, you'll be concerned that he might strike it as badly as he did there, because he almost hit the red the wrong side there. When you miss by that far, it does put a seed of doubt in your mind as to your ability to cue from long range accurately.
Tell you what, if you had a gurning competition amongst the world's top 32, Barry would be quite close to the top of the leaderboard, I reckon.
Thank you.
Some of his expressions are brilliant.
I think I might be able to win a competition like that without much effort.
Eight.
Confirmation of the heavy scoring of Neil Robertson.
13.
53, 102, 54, 61, and still trails in the match. But,
14.
crucially, only by 1. And he's at the table.
$21.
Still has 2 more loose reds above the pack to play for. I don't think they're a good pack
22.
to go into from the black. So if I were Neil, I'd concentrate on these 2 reds that are still available and try to get an angle on the blue to go into the reds.
$29. 30.
Well, you could go into the reds now. It doesn't have to. We'd probably like just a fraction more angle on the blue. You always have to check the pack of reds just in case there's a plant there or a ball that's likely to deflect off another and into a pocket. Went into the side of the pack of reds and it's worked out very nicely and the black is still available.
35.
Barry Hawkins will be beginning to show a few concerns now.
Well, the way he's resumed after that mid-session break, Neil Robertson will absolutely believe he's going to level things up at this single visit. Beautiful split.
He's still being very circumspect though, isn't he? He's walking around the table, just looking at all the options, trying to work the breakout. That's a good thing to do. But there's a positive stroll around the table now from Neil Robertson. And if you're Barry Hawkins, you'll certainly pick up on things like that.
Well, there's two things going on here. One
36.
is how well Neil Robertson's playing, and Barry's lead being eroded. But he missed that red, Barry, by a very long way. I know we were having a little bit of laugh about his expressions at the back of it, but he was absolutely nailing those in the first couple of frames. These were going in the first couple of frames.
43.
And give that face a 7 or 8 out of 10 for expression. I'm not sure you could top that.
I don't think I'll try to.
$44. $49. $50.
Fantastic turnout from this crowd. Everybody absolutely gripped by this first match on quarter-final Friday. They came to see a best of 9. And very soon, I suspect, just about, they're expecting this
55.
to be a best of 3. But he's not quite over the line yet.
I don't think Neil intended to cannon that red at all. He was nearly on it, but as you can see, he can't see enough of it. And he has a 55-point advantage here. He can still play this red into either the far right corner or probably the centre pocket and stun across for the blue. Oh, it's just gone in.
56.
But look where he left the cue ball there. He made it as difficult as possible for Barry Hawkins should he have missed that red. But it was a good pot, and with that red near the right corner, Neil just needs to pot the blue. It's missable from underneath the cushion, so he'll literally just pot the blue in such a way as to make it as easy as possible.
$61. $62. Pink ball.
This has been a brilliant, brilliant start to this mini session here. Fantastic stuff.
68.
This is why they came, to see great quality and great drama.
69.
We've had both this afternoon in this match. All square after 6.
76.
Barry Hawkins hasn't potted a ball now for over 21
77.
minutes. He needs to get back in the groove here because his opponent is.
This frame
84.
will comfortably be the fastest frame of the match.
85.
Some lengthy frames. 2 frames over half an hour. 1 over 26 minutes. But this one is already over, and as you can see, the frame time less than 10 minutes.
92.
This is exactly what Neil Robertson needed.
93.
This is him at his most comfortable. It's quick, dominating the table, playing with confidence, and delivering a great comeback in this match. His scoring's been amazing. His second century to go alongside the 53 and the 54 in the 2 frames that he lost.
$101.
Come on, Robbo. Let's clear the table for a 1-3-5 and a best of 3.
105. 107. 110.
'Barry Hawkins looking very serious
114.
now. He's involved in a very tight affair now, but he doesn't have the momentum his opponent does.
119. 125.
All the frustration gone. And with it, the 2-frame deficit. We're all square after 6. Neil Robertson very much in the ascendancy in this match. Barry Hawkins needs to remind himself he's still absolutely in it. It's 3 apiece. Boy, oh boy, is he back in the groove. They're all going in at the moment.
Yellow ball.
Barry Hawkins needs to find a way to break this momentum of Neil Robertson.
Neil Robertson 1.
Got to say, Rob, that cue ball there just shot off that side cushion. Neil wanted that cue ball behind the brown, not 8 inches to the left of it. Let's have a look at this cue ball here. It strikes the cushion, then just catapults off it. Neil will probably have the confidence to pop one of these 2 reds into the right-hand corner pocket and hold for the black. A couple of frames ago, he may have thought twice about playing it that way. But you can see his pot success, frames 1 to 4, so before the interval his pot success was 87%, it's now 97%. What a difference.
One.
It's accurate, it's quicker, and this is his kind of rhythm. Minute by minute in this match since the mid-session break, his confidence is growing. Worrying signs
8.
for Barry Hawkins. Remember, he loves the Welsh Open, Neil Robertson. This was one of the events that kick-started his career, his second title. Grand Prix was first in 06, and then his Welsh crown, the first of his 2 Welsh crowns, in 07, in that decider against Andrew Higginson.
9.
This event was one of the catalysts for the most decorated non-British and Irish playing career in history. 26 ranking titles and counting.
Again, he's done very well here. When he potted the previous black, he
14.
just pushed through a red, didn't catch it as fully as he wanted to. And then when he potted the red, he cannoned into other balls, and he's had to pot a really good blue there to keep the break
50.
going. And now he's back in good position again, but the black is tied up for now.
Barry Hawkins is being frozen out here.
21.
He needs to somehow conjure a way back into this match, but when his opponent's rattling off half centuries and centuries for fun, it's hard to know how he does that.
I'm not keen on the shot that Neil's looking at here. I think he's looking to leave himself on the pink to cannon into the red and the black, but he'll be lucky, I think, if he gets on his next red. I'd like to go up for the blue here and go into the reds. Not an easy positional
22.
shot to play, but there's a line of 4 reds there. If he cannoned into them, that would free the black. That's what he plays here now, positionally. He's going to definitely need to be careful here, positionally, from the pink. It's not ideal. Dear, dear. Oh, that could well be end of break.
28. Robertson, 28.
That was such a tough shot. Even allowing for the fact that he's in such good scoring form at the moment. You can see his confidence and his intent. He was desperate to keep that going. Nearly 250 points without reply.
Well, Barry can attempt this red to the yellow pot and screw back for the pink. The only red he can leave is this one he's taking on. Oh, great pot from Barry Hawkins. But I have to go back to that previous pink that Neil played for. He put himself in all sorts of positional difficulties, and if Barry can pot this pink and go into the reds, the complexion of this frame could change radically.
Well, it certainly didn't look as though he hadn't potted a ball for 29 minutes, the way he stroked that red into the yellow pocket.
Seven.
Robertson's taken the last two frames in 17 minutes and 11 minutes. His average shot time is down to 24.
8.
Barry Hawkins has been desperate for a chance to stop that momentum and get back to the table. He's got himself in. Can he make the most of it?
13.
The 5 reds above the black won't really pot anywhere, so I wonder if Barry will play for the black here to nudge into them. The problem is the black spot is
14.
occupied by the pink, but he may be able to go into these reds and free the pink spot area up, and that would help for the black to be respotted there rather than the brown spot. Okay, I think the pink spot is still occupied, so the brown may have to go, I beg your pardon, the black may have to go on the brown spot. Although, no, amazingly,
21.
there is room on the pink spot for the black, and that's a big help.
$22. $27. $28.
This for his first break over 30.
$31.
This opportunity has come just in the nick of time for Barry Hawkins to stop his opponent's relentless barrage of unanswered points.
$32.
Crowd are totally absorbed in this encounter. It's not often this quiet when there's this many people in the arena. It's like they're holding their breath to see what will happen next.
37.
Oh, Barry expected a 4-ball cannon there and caught it wrongly, and look where the cue ball's finished now. That is comprehensively end of break. Did he play to avoid the cannon on the black? Because he played the blue there. Virtually playing ball.
Barry Hawkins, 37.
Not entirely sure positionally what Barry attempted to do with that blue. He's played a good safety, but he really could have won the frame at that visit.
was a missed opportunity for Barry.
Half chance there at a red. Certainly wasn't easy, but cue ball cannon in the green gives Neil the opportunity to either play a very good safety or attempt to pot himself.
Is it? Is it? Is it? Yes, it is. A look of exasperation on the face of Neil Robertson there. Great pot. A bit of a let-off for Barry Hawkins.
Yes, and lucky for Neil. And this is the problem, though, when the cushions are playing so quickly. The angles are all wrong, and if this had been the first or second day of the event when the cushions were behaving as they should, that cue ball would not have found the pocket.
Dear, oh dear.
Barry Hawkins 4.
From exasperation to a wry smile and a shake of the head. JV would have been in his element.
Again, Barry catching one of the bolt colours. I don't think there's room past the yellow to attempt the red, but it's near the pink. Oh, not again.
Oh, it can't be, is it? It can't be, is it? Not this time. Wow. He is enjoying this contest. He wouldn't have enjoyed that hat-trick of in-offs. The match is still being played in a wonderful spirit, despite the rising tension.
Barry attempted to pop that red. It would just go past the pink. He didn't have the whole pocket to aim at. But that cue ball's only just reached the bulk line, and Neil can pot this. And he has. Very cleanly. Needs that cue ball to keep going, though, and it won't. He's the wrong side of the blue to get on the next red. Oh, I don't know how he can get onto the next red unless he were to risk the pink or the black. Green possibly, but it's asking a lot.
That wasn't easy. And what a chance now. He's been unsettled since the resumption. Barry Hawkins. He's to compose himself now. Getting towards the business end of the match.
1.
Well, I thought Barry could have played for the black there. Maybe because he's left-handed it would have been awkward. But it wouldn't have been as awkward as the position he's in now. 16 points to the good. He's not nicely on a colour here at all. Plays for position. Oh, he's not taking the brown on. I thought he would take the brown on there. So just snookering his opponent.
Barry Hawkins 1.
It's a well-played shot, but Neil will probably just come off the side cushion and rest on this red. It would be too risky to play it with pace and hope to get it safe.
Trusting to luck a fraction there.
Oh, he took such a risk playing it like that. Any player does. Don't think Barry can cut the red in, but if he's feeling brave, he could try and play the cue ball onto the bottom jaw of the middle pocket here and angle his opponent. Great Alex Higgins used to like that shot when it came up. Doesn't come up very often.
Intelligent player, Barry Hawkins. That was nicely done.
Well played escape, but this red is definitely on for Barry Hawkins. He doesn't normally refuse these. Position on any colour will do him.
That was a long way off. He was drilling those into the heart of the pocket in the first couple of frames. He wasn't scoring heavily, but his single pots were brilliant. So he's only had 5 out of 12 in the second half of this match. So that was well done. But he's left it.
Yeah, one good straight red here from Barry. He can hold for the brown.
One.
Screw back for the green. I could say he's got green or brown to play with here. But it'll probably now be the green. We'll then need the yellow, green and brown in addition. to take the lead again in this match.
He's been out cold for the last 2 frames, Barry Hawkins.
4.
He's had multiple opportunities in this frame. Can he take it this time?
6.
Again, a fast bounce. Could have left Barry a little hampered. Just needs the green. Brown to be certain, but the green would be enough to leave Neil needing a snooker. And he is hampered. That fast bounce look has caused him a massive problem. I'm not convinced he'll even take the green on now.
Horrible position.
Barry Hawkins, 6.
You could be forgiven for thinking this is a semi or a final. Such is the intensity of the atmosphere.
Needs that green to slow down. The fast bounce, it's almost cuttable this, but I don't think Neil would risk it. Of course, Barry has the advantage here, not just because of the point score, but the fact that the blue is safe. Well, I thought Neil could have done a little more with that. I know some players that might consider doubling this green because it's frame ball. Don't know if Barry would be one of them, though.
Can you please switch that off?
God, what a time for a phone to ring. Not now, I'm at the snooker. What a day of sporting drama this is going to be in Llandudno. This is just the first course of 4.
This is awkward for Neil. Had that green just travelled a couple more inches, Neil could have played the green next to the blue and got the cubel in behind the brown. Don't think he could risk that now. Well, he attempted to pot the green, but... or did he? Hard to know whether he attempted the green there. There wouldn't have been any reason to attempt it if you're going to leave the cue ball there, but Barry might attempt this because it's frame ball and it's potable. And it wouldn't be an easy safety shot on here.
He knows the importance of this one last ball. Get himself over the line in frame 7. At the very least, Barry Hawkins has brought a halt to the Robertson momentum. 17-minute frame, 11-minute frame. Now we're back up to 27 again. Robertson's all about rhythm, and that has once again been interrupted.
That's not a bad safety from Neil. It won't be easy to get both cue ball and green safe here. Managed to arc the cue ball down to this top cushion though, and played it very well. Sometimes when you play that shot, the cue ball reacts off the side cushion but doesn't reach the top cushion, but it did there. If I were Neil now, Rob, I think I'll be playing that green towards the blue to try and force Barry to take it off the cushion.
That was a brilliant safety from Barry. But that's not bad as a response, is it? He's not just the break-building machine. That was fantastic from Robertson.
We'll be happy with that escape because now he can try and get the snooker in behind the pink and remove the blue from the cushion. He hasn't looked at it, I'm amazed. I mean, you could screw the cue ball.
Hand on his hip there, Neil Roberts. I've got to be honest, Catherine. I haven't got a clue. I'd love it to go all the way. It's not because I don't want Barry to win. He's a great bloke. But it's just had the feeling that it deserves a final frame decider. It's been a bonkers match, really. Mark Williams has said it there. Barry Hawkins could win this match without a single break over 40. But it's about the frames, not the breaks. Usually both go hand in hand. Since when did world-class snooker ever follow a predictable script? That's why we love watching it. And we hope you've enjoyed this live drama this afternoon on the BBC. Our first event without the late, great John Virgo. We're having a service of remembrance for John at Sheffield Cathedral, Thursday the 16th of April at 1 o'clock. And if you've got a good memory or a story, or you'd like to make a comment about JV, send World Snooker Tour an email, jvstories@wst.tv, jvstories@wst.tv, and we'll read the best ones out at the service. A celebration of 79, his number of years, and the year he won the UK title. He won't be forgotten. Such an intriguing match, this, Dominic, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, if these 2 frames now, the next 2 frames, if it goes a distance, are tactical ones, I just can't see Barry not winning this match. But is there a chance here that Neil can make a plant of the 2 reds just below and to the right of the black? They won't be far away. Oh, he nearly fluked it. Needs that cue ball to keep running, and it hasn't. He's left the red on. Well, the pink's in open play. The black might still pot into the left corner. This is a good chance for Barry Hawkins. He just needs one good positional shot here. Somebody's mobile phone going off, I can hear.
Can you please make sure your phones are switched to silent, please?
Well, the first time that happened, he didn't even have to say anything. He just turned and gave it the 1,000-yard stare. But it didn't work, so hopefully whoever is responsible has turned the phone off. Don't want anything to interrupt this drama.
Barry Hawkins 1.